What's the one thing that makes a woman stop in her tracks and think, this man is different? He's not like the rest? Is it looks, status, money, or is it something deeper? Today we're diving into 6 powerful boundaries rooted in Stoic wisdom that instantly attract high-value women. And trust me, once you understand and apply these boundaries, you'll never look at dating the same way again. But before we begin, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you were giving everything to a woman? Your time, your energy, your love, only to realize she didn't respect you the way you deserved? If so, then you must watch this video until the very end, because these 6 boundaries are going to change the way you carry yourself, and in turn, change the kind of women you attract. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap like to support the channel, and stick with me through the full video, because what I'm about to share isn't just relationship advice. It's a life philosophy that will transform your love life and help you become the man Marcus Aurelius himself would admire. Setting the stage. Why boundaries matter. Let's start with a simple truth. A man without boundaries is like a city without walls. Anyone can walk in, take what they want, and leave. High-value women who are confident, grounded, and looking for something real, are not attracted to men who lack boundaries. They want a man who knows himself, who respects his own time, and who stands firm in his values. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." And boundaries are exactly what turn words into reality. So let's get into it. 6 powerful boundaries that instantly attract high-value women. 1. The boundary of self-respect. Have you ever been in love so deeply that you forgot yourself in the process? Think about it. That first love, the late-night texts, the butterflies when she smiled at you, the way you would drop everything the moment she called your name. Now let me ask again, did you ever realize, maybe too late, that while you were giving everything, she wasn't giving the same back? I want you to pause here. Close your eyes for a second. Go back to that memory. Remember how it felt to wait for her message. Remember the excitement when she finally replied after hours of silence. Remember how you rearranged your plans, canceled on friends, skipped your gym, even ignored your own responsibilities just to be there for her. It felt like love, didn't it? But here's the harsh truth. Sometimes what feels like love is just self-abandonment disguised as devotion. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. And strength in love starts with this one thing, self-respect. Because without it, no matter how much love you give, you'll always end up empty. Let me tell you a story. Maybe it's your story, or maybe it's one you've seen in a friend. A man falls in love. He adores her. He places her above everything. At first, she smiles. She enjoys the attention. She feels desired. But as weeks turn into months, something shifts. She starts to pull back. She starts to test him, to see how much of himself he'll sacrifice just to keep her. And he sacrifices everything. Until one day she looks at him not with admiration, but with indifference. Because here's the reality most men don't realize: when you don't respect yourself, she won't either. Self-respect is the invisible force that makes a woman think, this man is different. It's not arrogance. It's not pride. It's the quiet confidence of someone who says, I will love you, but I will not lose myself in the process. And let me tell you, when you hold that boundary, women notice. They feel it. They respect it. So let me turn this back to you. Are you the kind of man who says yes to everything, just to keep her happy? Or are you the kind of man who can calmly say no when something doesn't align with your peace, your time, or your values? Because here's the secret. Self-respect is more attractive than good looks, money, or even charm. Why? Because it communicates strength. And strength is what high-value women crave more than anything else. So remember this. The moment you start respecting yourself, you teach her how to love you properly. And if she can't rise to that standard, she was never meant for you. 2. The boundary of emotional control. Have you ever been in a situation where a woman tested you, and instead of staying calm, you reacted emotionally? Maybe she said something teasing. Maybe she pulled away suddenly. Maybe she gave you silence just to see how you'd respond. What did you do? Did you panic? Did you flood her phone with messages? Did you get angry, asking why she was acting distant? If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. Most men have been there. And the truth is, Losing control of your emotions is the fastest way to lose a woman's respect. Think back to your own story. Maybe you liked a girl so much that you couldn't handle the idea of losing her. So every time she went quiet, your stomach sank. Every time she looked at another man, your blood boiled. Every time she teased you, you felt the need to defend yourself instantly. But here's the thing. When you become that reactive, you hand over your power. Marcus Aurelius warned himself daily. You will meet people who are selfish, arrogant, deceitful. Do not be disturbed, for they are who they are and you control only your reaction. That's Stoicism in love. You can't control her moods, her tests, or her shifting emotions, but you can control your response. And that's where true strength lies. Let me share a story. A man once told me about his ex. She used to push his buttons. Sometimes she'd say things like, "Maybe we're not a good match." Just to watch his reaction, he would explode with fear, chasing her, begging her not to leave. At first she felt powerful, but soon she lost respect, because she realized that one sentence could control his entire mood. Now imagine a different man. His woman tests him the same way. She says, "Maybe we're not a good match." But instead of reacting emotionally, he smiles calmly and says, "Maybe you're right. I only want someone who's sure about me." And then he carries on with his day. What do you think happens? Her test fails. Suddenly she feels respect. She realizes he can't be shaken by words or moods. She sees him as a rock, a man of emotional strength. That's what emotional control is. It's not about being cold or heartless. It's about being unshakable. It's about showing that your peace cannot be stolen by someone else's storm. Let me ask you directly. When was the last time you stayed calm in the face of a test? When was the last time you chose silence over anger, patience over panic, calm over chaos? Because the man who masters this boundary, the man who can stay grounded, no matter what, becomes irresistible. High-value women crave this kind of presence. Why? Because it makes them feel safe. And safety is the foundation of attraction. So remember this. If you control your emotions, you control the frame of the relationship. And once you control the frame, she'll never see you as ordinary again. Force the boundary of purpose over pleasure.
Have you ever lost yourself in a woman?
Be honest, have you ever made her the center of your universe? The reason you woke up, the reason you worked, the reason you breathed? At first it feels romantic, doesn't it? You think, I'd do anything for her. She's my everything. But soon, without realizing it, your goals, your passions, your mission in life start to fade into the background. And here's the painful truth. The very moment you make her your purpose, you stop being attractive to her. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how, at the start, she was drawn to your ambition, your confidence, the way you had your own life, your own focus? That's what pulled her in. But then slowly you shifted. Instead of chasing your dreams, you started chasing her. Instead of building your empire, you built your days around her mood. And what happened? She started losing respect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Read that again. Your worth as a man is not measured by how many women you can attract. It's measured by how deeply you live your purpose. Let me give you a story that might sound familiar. A young man had a burning dream. He wanted to build a business, to create something meaningful. At first, the woman he loved admired that about him. She'd tell her friends, "He's so driven, so focused." But slowly, he started putting her above everything. Whenever she wanted time, he canceled his plans. Whenever she got upset, he stopped working on his goals just to make her happy. His mission took second place, and she became the only prize he chased. And guess what? She left. Not because he didn't love her enough, but because he loved her too much at the expense of himself. Now picture a different man. He also loves deeply, but he never sacrifices his purpose. If he's working on his craft, he doesn't drop everything for constant attention. If he has a vision, he pursues it relentlessly, even while in love. And what does the woman in his life feel? Respect, desire. She feels inspired, not burdened, because she knows she's walking beside a man who is going somewhere. Women are not attracted to men who orbit around them. They are attracted to men who orbit around something greater, a mission, a calling, a vision that lights them up inside. So let me ask you, what's your purpose? What's the fire that gets you out of bed in the morning? If you don't know, you'll find yourself making her the purpose. And that's a dangerous place to be. The boundary is this: you never place pleasure, her attention, her intimacy, her approval above your purpose. Because when you live for your purpose, you become magnetic. And the right woman won't pull you away from it. She'll want to join you in it. 4. The boundary of standards. How many times have you ignored red flags just because you didn't want to lose her? Be honest. Maybe she disrespected you in front of friends. Maybe she flirted with other guys. Maybe she constantly took but never gave. And yet you stayed. You told yourself, it's not that bad. Maybe she'll change. Maybe if I just love her harder, she'll treat me better. But let me ask, how did that end? Most men have lived this story. At the start, everything feels magical. You're drawn in by her beauty, her charm, her laughter. You feel lucky just to have her. So when the little signs appear, the sarcasm that cuts too deep, the disrespect that makes you uneasy, you brush it off. Because in your mind, losing her feels worse than losing yourself. But here's what you need to understand. The moment you accept less than what you deserve, you teach her how to treat you. And once respect is gone, attraction quickly follows. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." And living, truly living, means standing for something. In love, it means having standards. Let me paint you two pictures. The first man is desperate to keep her. She insults him and he laughs it off. She ignores him and he chases harder. She puts in the bare minimum and he gives her the maximum. At first, she might enjoy the power. But over time, she feels bored. Why? Because there's nothing to respect. A man with no standards is a man with no backbone. Now picture the second man. He adores her, but he never abandons his standards. The moment she disrespects him, he calmly says, "I don't tolerate that." If she pulls away, he doesn't chase, he lets her choose. If she tries to test his boundaries, she quickly realizes they're firm. What does she feel? Respect, desire, security. Because a man with standards communicates one powerful truth. I don't need you. I choose you. And if you can't treat me with respect, I can walk away. And here's the paradox. When you're willing to walk away, women are more likely to stay. Because they know your love isn't born out of desperation, it's born out of choice. So I'll ask you directly, what are your standards? Do you tolerate disrespect just to avoid being alone? Or do you hold yourself so highly that you'd rather walk alone than walk with someone who treats you poorly? Because here's the reality, the man who demands nothing gets nothing, but the man who sets standards attracts women who rise to meet them. Your boundary is this: never lower your standards just to keep someone in your life. Because the moment you do, you lose yourself. And a man who has lost himself can never truly be loved. The boundary of time and energy. How many hours of your life have you wasted on someone who didn't value your time? Think about it. The endless late-night calls when you had work early the next morning. The hours waiting for her to reply while your mind went in circles. The weekends sacrificed because she wanted you available, even when she wasn't giving you the same energy back. Does it sound familiar? Here's the truth. Time is the most valuable thing you own. You can make more money, you can buy more things, but you can never buy back the minutes, the hours, the years you give away. And yet most men treat their time like it's free. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." Being good, in Stoic terms, doesn't just mean being kind. It means being wise with how you spend your life. And your life is nothing more than the sum of your time and energy. Let me tell you a story that may sound like your own. A man once told me about his ex. Every time she wanted him, he was there instantly. She'd call him at midnight just to complain about her day. And he'd listen for hours. Even though he had to wake up at 6 a.m., she'd cancel plans last minute. But he'd always reschedule for her. She'd give the bare minimum, but he gave his whole heart, his whole time. And what happened? She grew bored. Why? Because she didn't have to earn his time. It was always free. And things that are free are rarely valued. Now imagine a different man. His time is precious. He doesn't waste hours texting all day. He doesn't drop everything the moment she calls. If he's working on his goals, he stays focused. If he's resting, he guards his peace. And when he does give his time to a woman, it means something. It feels rare, valuable, special. And what happens? She respects him. She craves his attention more because she knows it's not unlimited. She knows she has to show up as her best self to deserve it. So let me turn this back to you. Are you giving your time and energy away to anyone who asks for it? Or are you selective, intentional, protective of your life's most valuable resources? Because here's the truth. When you treat your time as valuable, others do too. But when you treat it like it's endless, People will waste it without guilt. 6. The boundary of independence. Have you ever felt like you couldn't live without someone? Like if she left, your whole world would collapse? If you've ever been there, you know that desperate feeling. Checking your phone every 5 minutes, losing sleep, losing focus, feeling like your life has no meaning without her. At first, it feels like passion, but over time, it feels like chains. And here's the truth. When you depend on a woman for your happiness, you don't attract her closer. You push her away. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." What does this mean? It means your greatest peace, your greatest strength, must come from within, not from her. Let me tell you a story. A man once fell madly in love. She became his entire life. He stopped seeing his friends, stopped pursuing his goals, even stopped taking care of himself. Everything revolved around her. At first, she enjoyed the attention, but soon she felt suffocated. He couldn't make a decision without her approval. He couldn't feel happy unless she validated him. And eventually, she left. Not because she didn't like being loved, but because she didn't respect a man who couldn't stand on his own. Now picture another man. He also loves deeply, but his life doesn't begin and end with her. He has his own friends, his own passions, his own mission. He enjoys her company, but he doesn't need it to feel whole. He is complete by himself, and because he's independent, when he chooses to give her his love, it feels powerful. It feels like a gift, not a dependency. Which man do you think she desires more? The one who clings or the one who stands strong even if he has to stand alone? That's what independence is. It doesn't mean you don't love. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means your sense of self, your happiness, your purpose do not rely on her. And paradoxically, that's exactly what makes her stay. High-value women are drawn to men who choose them out of strength, not out of desperation. They want to feel wanted, not needed. So let me ask you, if she walked away tomorrow, would you still stand? Would you still chase your dreams? Still live your life with meaning? Still carry yourself with strength? Or would you crumble because you gave her the power to be your entire world? Because the man who remains whole even in solitude is the man women crave in love. Your boundary is this. Never sacrifice your independence for dependence. Love her, but don't lose yourself. Share your life, but don't hand over your soul. Because the moment you can stand tall without her, she'll never want to walk away. Closing story. The man with walls. Imagine 2 men. The first has no boundaries. He gives everything, accepts everything, and loses himself in the process. Women may enjoy him for a short while, but eventually, they leave because there's no strength to respect. The second has boundaries. He respects himself. He controls his emotions. He lives for a purpose greater than pleasure. He has standards. He values his time. And he remains independent. Which man do you think high-value women are drawn to? The answer is obvious. Because boundaries aren't about pushing women away. They're about drawing the right women closer. So I'll leave you with this. If you want to attract women who are high value, who are loyal, who are worth your time, don't focus on chasing them. Focus on building these 6 boundaries. Because when you build your walls with strength and wisdom, the right woman won't try to tear them down. She'll ask to build inside them with you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.